Hey, what's up? You guys want to watch some Star Trek? Are we watching Star Trek today? Some bad episodes today, actually. Hero Worship's okay, but New Ground it's an Alexander episode, so right off the bat, we know it's not going to be great. And Violation, just from the title, we know for a fact that it's a Troy episode. I mean, Troy episodes are hit and miss, but when it's titled Violations, I imagine it's going to be very uncomfortable. Troy gets some good stuff. She gets the bit where she's a Romulan. That might be it. I feel like there's more, but I don't remember what they are. It's Troy. O'Brien gets his suffering in the next show. This time it's Troy. Unrelated. You go ahead.
Good kid actor.
Kid actors are weird always, but
it's weird. Like, you have to have a sort of naturalism to it, but it's some flair. Obviously, I'll talk a little bit about Brian Bonsall when we get to the episode. But he's
Ryan,
kind of weird career.
Yeah, I noticed that right as people started talking about it. I was watching the volume sliders, and yeah, it's fixed now. Don't worry.
Was I too loud?
No. Well, yes,
Discord was muted.
Manual adjustment. Yeah, nobody could hear anyone. No, Fallon, I fixed your volume. I just have to fix it on my end because everyone has a different level. But what I was going to say is that the Voyager documentary it's now ended. It raised 1.279. It raised nearly $1.3 million. It raised a lot of money.
I'm looking forward to my mug. Thank you very much.
Well, that's not how much I wanted to zoom in. Yeah, look at that. $1,279,607 USD. So I think that's a new record for a documentary. They kept talking about the previous record before, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, when they got the closing one, they never said whether or not they beat it.
Maybe it's in the updates. Anyway, minute and a half, everyone get queued up to TNG New Ground. It's season 5, episode 7? Episode something. You can find it. It's
10 according to Netflix.
10? Okay. So yeah, they got all the stretch goals. So hypothetically, they should be remastering all the footage they use. And there's an exclusive never-before-seen Voyager surprise. No idea what that is, because, it's a surprise. It's a surprise.
I think this donkey...
You sure you're not in on it, Brian?
What's that?
You sure you're not in on the surprise?
Yes, I'm not in on it. I'm not that big a channel to be in on their $1 million surprise.
It's a 1/15th of a second image of Ryan's actual face.
My God, you're going to be so disappointed.
Actually raised enough money to make a full episode of Star Trek Voyager.
So they beat the previous record by $100,000.
Well, okay then.
All right, we're 20 seconds to start. Everyone get queued up. Season 5, episode 10, New Ground. With Alexander Rozhenko, our favorite character. Everyone's favorite character.
Oh, so many good Alexander episodes.
Ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
There are so many good Alexander episodes, I can't even count them.
Yeah.
I just don't have a number.
An uncountably infinite number. The Soliton wave.
science.
Oh, I always love the B plots in these episodes, where it's just you forget almost the entire thing by the end of the episode.
I mean, none of this matters, what they're doing. I mean, they're trying to make some fancy warp drive improvement, but we know that's not going to work.
Yeah.
No more bulky warp engines or nacelles. No, there's definitely going to be bulky warp engines and nacelles.
I mean, if it's to be believed, by the 32nd century, they're still using conventional warp drive for the most part.
Yeah. They do say that they have multiple types, like slipstream drive, but they said that the fuel was too rare when they don't actually have ships to go around the place.
The Federation's entire propulsion department has like 2 successes in its multi-century history.
Let's see, they have the spore drive, they have the warp drive, they have slipstream. I think there was one other they mentioned in Discovery. It doesn't matter. It's probably a variant of some Borg tech.
Slipstream wasn't even developed by the Starfleet either.
Was it not?
No, it came from Voyager, an alien race in the Delta Quadrant.
It's a book thing, but they make it work in the books, but that's the only reference they have of it.
I remember it happened in the Voyager series, Slipstream Drive. Isn't that the one?
It's the one with the fake Starfleet ship.
Yeah, the fake... Oh no, I was thinking of a different fake Starfleet ship. I was thinking of the Silverblood ship.
No, it's the one where the Ray Wise plays the alien with the big head, makes a fake Starfleet
that's not
message.
Very specific. The alien with the big head.
Like a big brain kind of thing.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But oh, hey, Alexander.
What is it? Is it transparent?
Not really.
It
is veiny.
I like how we see more Starfleet stuff in the Delta or in Earth stuff in the Delta Quadrant than we do in oftentimes many parts of the Alpha Quadrant.
Sometimes.
Like
that probe that poisoned an entire planet.
Yeah, or that truck that was just floating in space.
Yeah, the space truck.
Yeah.
The episode with the space truck is hugely problematic for me in Voyager.
I don't remember what happened in it. Which episode was that? Was
Nothing's
that the 37s?
Yeah, it's the 37s. So, like, they basically find a planet with humans who were brought there as alien abduction victims to be slave laborers who fought off their oppressors. And the whole idea is that they find this planet, and because humanity succeeded on their own, they basically recreated a Federation planet. It's like it's indistinguishable from a Federation colony. Even Janeway says that place reminds me a lot of home. If you're facing a 70-year journey home where you're probably not even going to live to see Earth, and somebody hands you a planet that feels a lot like home,
that's basically just Earth again.
At least half the crew is getting off the ship there.
Counterpoint, if I had to live on a planet like where, we're in the 21st century, they're in an even more advanced, and evolved society than we were. If you put me on a planet where like everyone was alive and like is from the 30s and we're just really racist and stuff,
they were just like
I would rather die.
No. The whole point is that the planet, they evolved along the same like moral lines and thinking as the Federation. They have advanced technology. It's a lot like Earth. It's basically an Earth analog dumped right in the middle of Voyager.
Yeah, they find Earth, and then there's just a few people frozen from the 30s. Just a few.
Like Amelia Earhart is one of them.
Yeah.
And some Japanese soldier. I don't know if he was historically significant, or if he was just some Japanese guy.
I think he was just some dude.
Yeah, Amelia Earhart and her co-pilot were the only famous ones in the whole group.
Okay. I just remember the line, like, how do you people all speak Japanese? It's like,
Yeah.
Now it's time to exposit about the universal translator. What about Alexander? Yeah, you abandoned him. You left your own son. Terrible father. Mart, he's high-spirited. He's too high-spirited. They're old now. Take care of your own kid.
When she said he was a fine boy, Worf, I like hyphenated it in my head, so it was like a Worf boy.
I mean, that's not totally wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this episode might be a little bit quiet because I mean nothing really happens in it. They just sort of have a little bit of family drama, and then the episode's over. And that's about it.
But don't forget the failed test of the Nike swoosh drive or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's fine. The camera's just gonna shake for 5 seconds, then they'll exposit about it.
Yeah.
But eventually we'll get to a good episode. Eventually. The next one should be good, Hero Worship. He does need to be with his father. You can't just dump your kid on your parents and let them deal with it.
You know what this should have been, actually? You know what would have been way better than this? It should have been a funny episode.
That might have helped. But then they tried that, and the result was the higher the fewer.
I would love to see Worf try and act like be a parent in like a comedic setting where like Data comes in to like see how Alexander's doing, and like I don't know, Worf has him like hanging from the ceiling in a cage. Or like
Wait,
like
Alexander's a liar? He is a liar, Worf. The first duty of any Klingon child is to the truth. Apparently not. So is anybody here a parent? And specifically, is anybody here as bad a parent as Worf?
I mean, I made it perfectly clear here that I am my own father.
Okay.
I heard Mammoth has 37 children.
Ah. Unfortunately, he's not here right now where we could ask him about that.
I mean, he's so old, he's gotta.
Probably half the people in North America are descendants of Old Man Mammoth.
Exactly.
What if Alexander and like Worf go to the holodeck and Worf plays like his calisthenics programs, and Alexander just gets like the shit kicked out of him?
I mean, that's basically what is going to happen. Yes.
And one thing I didn't get to mention earlier is that Geordi actually does get to witness the first use of the warp drive, doesn't he?
Geordi does what with the warp drive?
Oh, that's right, yeah. He gets to see the first warp drive used.
Yep, he was excited about that. I'm like, well, you get to do it soon, buddy.
This would have been. I really wish this episode was just Alexander following Worf around, like failing to do the stuff that Worf's able to do, and then
your
at the end of the
day.
Yeah, like they have Alexander up on the bridge, and like his head's just like poking up over Worf's console because he's really short, and he like presses the button, and the whole ship goes on like red alert, and then Worf like presses another button, and he like scowls at him. That would have been such a good episode.
All right, you see that torpedo, or you see that asteroid over there, Alexander? These are the torpedo launchers. To line up the shot, you gotta target the thing. And fire. Excellent, Alexander. Yes.
Yes.
Date of birth. He doesn't even know. Date of birth, 3 years ago. 43rd day of MacTag. So what month does MacTag correspond to? Well, multiple months, I guess, because it's 43 days. At least.
Oh, yeah.
Worf, you're just... Why? Why would you say that in front of your kid? You're also, Picard, why are you wearing that jacket?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere in this episode. Why are you wearing the adventure jacket?
Maybe he's wearing it for when the screen starts shaking later on, when they test the engines.
Picard's just hiding in his office all day, so he's not going to wear the uncomfy uniform.
Kyle, honestly, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often. People really should just be cut off all the time with these communicators.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer the call,
dramatic
it just happens. Oh, he's going to be interrupted again. There we go. There really should be a ringtone on these things, or a vibrate setting, and you can just
this is like a dystopian future where like push notifications were never invented.
Why is there no voicemail on comm badges? Why does Dr. Crusher not text? Yeah, I don't think he means that.
Not at all.
Oh boy, I get to spend more time with the kid.
Yeah.
With the boy.
The boy.
Worf is like showing Alexander all of his like Klingon weapons, and Alexander's like, "Oh, what does this part do?" And Worf like has like this like shocked look on his face. And then,
give
like,
it 5 minutes, and that's what
the next cut is the next cut is in like sick bay, and like Worf's being treated with this like giant flesh wound in his stomach or something.
Yeah.
And he's just looking really upset.
Man, I have to imagine that guy cleaning his face in the shower is going to be a huge pain. Look at all those crevices you have to get.
Yeah, Michael Westmore got bored just doing foreheads. He just did the lower half of the face this time.
Okay. He gave him a little bit of a ridge.
It's like a upside down Cardassian. What if like Alexander's in like the Enterprise's school and he just like challenges another kid like a duel?
Doesn't something like that happen?
I think it might. I don't know. I haven't seen
this episode.
Alexander starts hoarding his toys and growling at people, but he doesn't attack anyone. He should, though. He should definitely assault one of the children.
Like they open up the toy box and like all the kids go for all the toys, and then Alexander like pulls out like a, I don't know, like a wooden pole, and he's like, "This is a fine weapon."
Yeah.
And Troy's lecturing him on how to be a good parent, or, you know, a halfway decent parent.
Has to like go to like a PTA meeting, and like all the other parents are like talking about all the other parents' drama, and Worf's like, "Miss Robinson's conduct is not honorable."
What is that thing?
That's a armadillo.
A tiny little space armadillo. And a bat.
I like how so the Enterprise just straight up has like a science museum on board.
Yeah.
It's a giant ship. It can have just about everything.
It's a cruise ship, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
Warship.
It's a kilometer long, right? I mean...
Wait, is that the parasite from Conspiracy? That sock puppet thing?
That would be great. What about
I don't know if that's what it was, but I swear I've seen that prop before.
It reminds me of that the thing in most toys where the collector's like, "I have this rare sock puppet in this little cage here."
Yes. Oh, there was a little statue of a cow. That was nice.
Wait, Tabitha's here?
It's a different cow. It's a little cow.
Okay.
I was thinking like this, it'd probably be more convenient if they just did this on the holodeck, but that's not what's happening here, as we're going to figure out later. This is not holodeck.
I'd like to see it like a list of all the random junk the Enterprise has inside it.
Well, I have a video accounting some of the junk.
Yeah, I guess like just all of these completely random rooms they have.
Did Alexander steal a model? Yes, she is. Yes.
Does stealing really matter if they have a post-scarcity society?
And that look he gives him. Alexander's look on his face is just, what?
What are you going to do about it?
Old man.
They have the same music here for like when they find out that a planet's ecosystem is going to collapse in another episode.
Yes. We only have a few musical cues. We gotta make do. 10 Baldock warriors. Of course you would rather fight 10 warriors than face a child.
But do you rather
do?
I'd rather do my favorite thing.
Well, he doesn't do that well, to be honest.
Man, I would really love to go play StarCraft instead of going to jury duty. Man, that if I had to choose, I would definitely choose the StarCraft. Of course you would, Worf. Shut up.
Yeah. Would you rather fight 10 Baldock warrior-sized horses or one horse-sized Baldock warrior?
That depends. How big are Baldock warriors naturally?
I just assumed they were like bald ducks.
Not just people with face makeup?
No, they're ducks.
See, if this was in the holodeck, he couldn't have stolen anything. Holographic little lizard.
Technically. They have holograms wandering around the ship at times on Enterprise. Oh, TNG rather.
Only once. And we just pretend that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. The problem with holodeck episodes is I can never find adequate reason why they can't just like cut through the power cables with like a rotary saw.
Well, Voyager explained that somehow the power systems are completely independent from the rest of the ship. As if by some evil magic.
Yeah.
Lots of tiny warp
the designers
reactors
wanted
in the
stuff
wall.
to go wrong with it. That's the whole point.
I mean, my attitude is always, it's a holodeck episode. I don't care what contrivance they need to make it happen.
What's also weird about Worf is, as we see Klingons in like DS9 and later in Star Trek, the culture gets more developed, and it really makes Worf just look like a complete weeb, where he's like the moodiest of all the Klingons, and he like tries to act Klingon and find a place in like Klingon culture. And he thinks he's like emulating other Klingons, but really he acts almost completely differently.
So he's a giant weeb. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So what are they not speaking of? Did he just promise not to lie again? Because
he lied about not lying again.
Okay, yeah.
He was lying.
Alexander's sending Worf down in an epistemological rabbit hole.
Oh, this is where that outtakes from. Door closes, the door opens, and Michael Dorn is just kind of assaulting Marina Sirtis.
Hilarious.
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what was happening, but no, they're good friends. They're just playing around.
Yeah, I'm just.
I believe she calls him Dorny.
As you do.
As you do.
Worf gets like crushed by a pile of barrels, and then like Alexander gets crushed by like a pile of miniature barrels.
Kind of an interesting angle there.
Oh, there's Lieutenant J. Oh, she's off screen now. She was there for a second. And that guy's face, it's just so weird. It's a weird face. I imagine... Do you suppose these people can grow beards? Because I feel like that would result in a very lumpy beard.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Soliton wave.
Ooh.
And it's gone. Oh, there's the title sequence. Fly out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Spot on.
We have the shot. We might as well use it.
Sure, no one will notice. It's fine. It's not like people are going to be watching these like 35 years later.
I mean,
Oh,
they use
God,
the
yeah.
exact
Turning it.
same footage of, Enterprise in orbit practically every episode, so.
Yes. Hey, Hapster,
Well-
how's it going? How's the triangles? Triangular class.
Triangle class.
Triangle class.
I mean, they keep blowing up the same bird of prey in the movies.
Yeah.
That's true. That one was so obvious too. Oh my god.
Oh, so painfully like, yeah, that's the exact.
It was the
same
climax of the last movie.
I'm pretty sure we see the same bird of prey explosion in the show, too.
And maybe even in Generations? I don't know.
Yeah, it's in Generations, and
Oh,
it's
it's
in,
definitely in Generations.
and it's in Star Trek 6, which was the prior movie. So yeah, you're using an explosion from the climax of the prior film in your film.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and how can you? Oh god.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
How come Voyager backed out of, or not Voyager, how come Discovery backed out of the classic Star Trek tradition of using like 30-year-old effects?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my issues with New Trek, but that is not one of them.
I mean, just once. I want them to be fighting some old Klingon ship, and they just use that same explosion shot. Just once.
With like film grain on it and stuff. Like it's so obviously out of place.
Someone pointed out,
In true Star Trek tradition. Yes, completely out of place.
Of course.
one of the most bizarre pieces of trivia I've heard about New Trek, which might be intentional, but might just be a completely contrived coincidence, is in season 1 of Voyager, when you see the not Voyager, Discovery and the Enterprise face each other at the end. That may be a reference to a photo of the shuttles Discovery and Enterprise, where they both have their noses facing each other, and that's the only time 2 shuttles have ever been arranged in that way.
Okay. Warp without warp drive. Boy, didn't they need to fire the Soliton beam from a planet?
Yeah, but
Because that's not
I
very
mean-
generalized. You still need warp drive. What if you need to go somewhere else when you're in space?
well, maybe you just like you use the warp drive to go
Or
to
if you
new
need to return
places.
from a place that you haven't got isolate on drive.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
on
how do you
each
get
planet
back?
you can have like 4 soliton beams.
Oh, here's one of the Klingons do not bits.
Yep.
In just a moment.
I like this teacher
Spirited.
character. I don't think we get her very much.
Yeah.
It's the only time, I think.
Yeah. It's too bad.
Though her referring to Alexander as spirited, yeah, that definitely just means he's awful.
Yeah. There's good teacheries there, yeah.
There we go. Defiant, overly aggressive. That's more like a teacher. There you go.
Yeah, it's just the one episode. Wow.
I mean, we don't really have much cause to come to the school that much. We don't deal with a lot of children.
Yeah, that's true. And we do get other Alexander episodes, but
And we will have a child episode as the next episode. I don't think it goes to the school though. Here we go. Klingons do not. I don't know. That sounds like something you would have told him, Worf. That sounds legit.
Klingons do not like it when Commander Riker plays his trombone.
Klingons do not reuse effect shots. And we're also not allowed to call him Alexander, son of Worf, I guess.
Just interrupts her conversation.
I mean, he'll be fine. It's a hologram. There we go. Oh, we got I forgot we ever got Skeletor again. I thought it was just that one episode.
No. He
Good to
appears
see
in
you, Skeletor.
DS9, too.
Why is Alexander even allowed to run this? I feel like there should be a child lock on the holodeck.
You don't want him getting into Barclay stuff.
Most personal holodeck simulations are coded and can only be run by that person.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Worf's isn't.
He may have guessed his password or known it.
True.
Yes.
The password was definitely just honor.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
With a
say.
0 for one of the O's.
Yeah.
So can I talk about Brian Bonsall a little bit here?
Sure. Alexander.
Okay, so yeah, Brian Bonsall, born 1981, debuted and spent several years as the youngest member of the Keaton family on Family Ties, and also starred the same year he appeared for the last time in Star Trek in '94. He starred in Disney's Blank Check, a movie about a 12-year-old boy who commits check fraud and dates a 30-year-old woman.
Okay.
And that's my bit. I posted a really recent photo of what he looks like now. He looks like a nice guy.
Okay.
He's got neck tattoos.
I can't read what it says on his hand. It's like IKE. Does it just say like? And
IKEA?
He's got letters on each of his fingers, but obviously you can't tell what that spells out from this picture.
He left acting in '94, moved to Colorado with his mom, and became a musician after school. So that's what he does now. He's a guitarist in a couple bands.
Okay. He didn't become a warrior. That would be perfect if he joined the army.
You know, depends how you define it. I don't know if he sings any Klingon songs. I didn't look too deep into it.
I feel like acting should be like this controlled substance. You know, like we've seen what it does to your mind and body and how it can just destroy your life. Like,
yeah,
there are like adults who can barely there are adults who can barely like withstand the pressures of acting. Like, imagine exposing your child to that.
Yeah, he hasn't had a totally, problem-free life. There's a couple arrests in his Wikipedia bio here.
Apparently, Google says that he has a net worth of $5,000. Okay.
I'm worth more than Worf's son. That's awesome.
I mean, I doubt he even got paid that much for this. And even if he had, it's been a long time. It's been like 30 years.
I feel like I might have a net worth of over $5,000 if you count the black market prices of my kidney.
Okay. I wonder what my net worth is. Let's see. Some out there, and then
I mean, I'm worth negative if you count student loan debt, but that's a whole other.
Okay.
Yeah. Same here.
Right on, man. Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she meant.
Yeah, if I had to give any advice to America's youth, I'd say do 2 years at community college, get all your gen ed stuff in, and then do real college and pay for it back.
Last year when COVID hit, instead of trying to find a job, I just did online community college and finished the rest of my gen eds and ended up saving more money than I would have made if I got a job.
That's awesome. That's
And
really
also,
smart.
and also, it was really part-time work, so I was able to just sit around most of the day.
Car and computer, my more expensive assets? That's not true. My car is not one of my more expensive assets. The car is not very valuable. The computer is valuable. The car isn't valuable. Screw the car, I don't need that. I just need like a scooter with a basket to carry groceries. Screw all the rest of that.
Ryan, what kind of computer do you have?
I have a... Well, it's not branded. I could give you the components. I have an RTX 3090, which is the most expensive part at $1,500.
Right on.
And then I have a i7 8700K processor. I don't remember how much those are worth. Probably like 600.
I'm happy.
i7 8700K is currently selling for about $370.
I have a really high-end Hewlett-Packard desktop from 2014, so it's like a kind of like mid-range desktop now.
Okay.
And it can't run current gen games, but most current gen games aren't very good, so
And I also have a 12 terabyte hard drive for, legally purchased video content, such as Star Trek.
yeah.
Ryan's Edits does not condone any criminal behavior. Just so
No.
Ryan's Edits YouTube channel does not condone piracy of movies or television shows. And no, I'm not using the 3090 for mining. Well, I've tested it a little bit, but generally, no, I'm not using it for mining. I just use it for, graphically intensive stuff. And deepfakes.
Yeah.
Lots of deepfakes.
All them deepfakes.
Can you deepfake Alexander on a Gowron?
I mean, I could, but why would I want to?
That sounds like a nightmare.
It might work. I don't know how it'll handle a Klingon face with all the ridges, but it might work. Oh, but Gowron has facial hair, doesn't he? It's way more complicated if they have facial hair.
Would it just be like Alexander with like a goatee?
It kind of... No. What it would do... Like, if I were to deepfake someone on the Commander Riker, for example, he has a full beard. It would just be like the middle of his beard isn't there anymore, around his mouth. Because it's putting the other person's mouth on him. So it would just be... He would just have the side beard. And maybe the chin. Maybe. Also, yeah, there's Worf's weird chair.
Hmm.
The horrible, horrible ball chair. Yes, he is.
Thing. Got it in.
No, it's definitely true. He doesn't care about Alexander.
Definitely true.
Everyone's favorite. Can you mute your typing?
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks, man.
I usually just massively reduce people's volume when they start typing and then put it back up when it stops.
I'm sorry. Someone DM'd me.
Okay.
Look at you, Mr. Popular.
Sorry, would you like me to DM you? Make you feel popular?
Yeah, I think so.
I can DM you with my loud typing sounds. So in Data's Day, you kind of see that the characters in the show are generally kind of aware of what the A and the B plot are and like what's going on. So do you think all the main bridge crew got together except for maybe Troy and were like, I heard Worf's kid is coming aboard. I think we all really need to dedicate all of our efforts to the Soliton wave.
I'll be in engineering, far away from the saucer and the school
Yeah.
and the quarters.
Yes. like Worf's like Commander Riker. Could you watch Alexander?
Are Geordi and
for-
Data touching? I think Geordi's shoulder is touching Data there.
I don't
just look
think
very
they're
familiar with
touching,
each
but
other.
they're definitely sitting barely close enough. Like you can tell they squeezed them together so they could both fit him in the shot.
They're very
Yeah.
close emotionally, and they're very close physically.
Really a blocking move.
No, they love each other. They're best friends.
So Data's like, Worf's like, Commander, could you please watch Alexander for like an hour or two? I really need to
Nope.
get some barrels dropped on me. And Riker's like, oh, I'm sorry, but the scientist really needs me to work on this soliton wave. I'm gonna actually beam down to the planet.
And of course, for the Soliton wave. Oh, the Soliton wave has gone rogue and is going to go blow something up, right?
This happens like every single time Starfleet tests new technology, no matter what it is.
Well, yes, that's Starfleet's whole thing. All the other empires just kind of... They very slowly and steadily make technological advancements. They steadily work up the warp scale. No, Starfleet just jumps straight to warp 10.
Yeah.
They just go for it.
Yeah.
What if something goes wrong? Oh, don't worry about it.
You just get another ship.
We'll deal with that at that point.
Starfleet's technological development is like every 9 out of 10 things they invent kills someone, and the remaining 10% just
I would assume,
alters the structure of their society.
Right. Now, thankfully, they made sure at the end of this Soliton wave, there's not like a populated planet or anything, right? Because that would just be a standard procedure kind of precaution,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they actually care that much. It's probably populated. It adds some more dramatic tension.
That's the thing. It's going to go slam into some random populated planet because God forbid they with this experiment test it on somewhere unpopulated.
Yeah, like we can build this thing on any point in our planet and like fire it in any direction we want. And so let's point it at like the very one specific vector where it'll run into a populated planet, which would be like
it's not even that far away.
Well, they didn't draw the line far enough. They're like, they went right outside their atmosphere. They're like, hey, should we keep going with this line and see where it goes? Nah, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Nothing will go wrong with the Soliton wave.
Like realistically, the odds of that thing running into a populated planet are so low. I don't even know how to articulate it.
It's like, I went to a shooting range. I don't see what the problem is. What do you mean? I can't fire my gun at this direction just because there's an orphanage over there. I'm on a shooting range.
Yeah, technically the bullet was trespassing. So, I mean, if you're going to blame anybody.
Life form is Alexander Roshenko, the one time that they can identify a specific life form.
I wish we had like a laugh track in the show. Like when they do the shot on like Worf's face and he looks so shocked, it's like do.
That's a great idea. And the laugh track into the show.
Could you just go sideways? It only looked like 10 meters wide. just turn.
No, it's the Prometheus style of getting away.
The Prometheus school of running away from things, yes.
Yeah.
Of course it will be. See, it is a colony. It's completely popular.
Send 2 of your main bridge crew officers to save this kid.
Yes.
Time of crisis.
They're not saving the kid. They're saving the sock puppet lizard.
Should they send a security team, maybe? I mean, I know Worf's on the security
Worf looks
team.
like he's ready to like go beat up the fire.
That panel bent
Why is
a
it
lot,
so hard
but
to
Frakes
remove
hit
the
it.
panel?
Why, what?
Why is it so hard to remove a panel meant for repair?
Maybe it has screws on the side. You're supposed to actually just take it off with tools. Oh no, Alexander's dead. He's 100% dead.
Well, we're going back to the bridge now.
not like everything in the biolab is, like there's a couple spots of fire, but I guess there's the giant fireball. That was
everything's on
just sitting
fire.
in there until the door opened and let it out.
How's it even on fire? Everything in here is made of metal.
Yeah, it's weird. Everything's on fire for no reason, like a Nick Cage movie.
Yeah, like that's
How's that burning? That's a steel beam.
Well, it's the ceiling
Solid
rocks.
waste can't melt steel beams.
It's an alloy with
The ceiling
wood in
rocks
it.
are very flammable.
This beam wobbles so much.
But no, what do you mean? It can't wobble. Look how heavy it is.
Yeah, right. I think when Worf eventually lifts it, it wobbles like tons. It's just
Are you telling me they did not actually drop a 50-pound steel beam on a child?
No, I'm just saying you gotta, if it looks like that way in the shot, do another shot.
Okay.
Everyone's so preoccupied with saving Alexander. I'm surprised no one's worried about the poor puppeteer that's controlling the sock monster.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay, Alexander,
That's
hurry
a
up.
heavy
and call out
styrofoam
next so he
there.
doesn't have to. Okay.
Styrofoam. He almost hits him with the beam when he tosses it.
Yeah, like
Riker should look where he's
he
going.
tosses it and like Riker gets crushed and he has to like lift it up again.
Breaks his jaw.
And then he just throws it at Alexander again and he like
Oh, we are
gets
saving the
stuck in
puppet.
this loop. And they're like, Worf, please stop lifting up the beam.
Acknowledge Worf.
This is tense.
Could we have like one more of the 1,000 people on the ship, like try and put out a fire in this one room?
So, Biolab 4 is about to be flooded with radiation, but not the hallway outside Biolab 4. That's perfectly safe.
No,
That's
of course.
fine.
Bulkheads are invulnerable. We know this from Discovery when a bulkhead stopped the entire ship from just being destroyed, or like half a deck or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it did blow a massive hole in the top of the ship, at least.
Right, because there's no bulkhead there.
Yeah. I don't know why the hole on the outside of the ship is weaker than on the inside, but apparently that's not a problem with the Discovery. That's Star Trek tradition.
Star Trek doors are impenetrable except in Conspiracy when like a fragile old dude throws like Riker through a pair of them. Yes.
No, but you're going to get in trouble for trespassing.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
You almost killed 2 people who actually matter. And the lizards.
I think my big issue with Alexander is like I just don't think the kid's a very good actor. it's hard to
he's
say.
a kid.
It's- yeah, but like his tone of voice is just this like constantly, I don't know, annoyed kind of sound, and it's just like, ugh.
Some people there. I don't want to rag on the puppets because they are good puppets. I really wish we could see a return to puppets in
Oh God, yeah.
this era of
Thanks.
primarily CG aliens.
I mean, there's Baby Yoda, which should tell people something. The fact that everyone adores him. Like, the
Yeah,
puppets are good.
it became a sensation. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They're gonna reboot Gremlins inevitably, and I hope they stay with puppets and animatronics and stuff instead of.
If they brought the space lizards back, like now, they would be just as big as Baby Yoda for sure. Oh, hey, the episode's over. That's nice.
It is.
That kind of
They ran out of scenes.
Well, we
We
made
had
it
35
through,
minutes
folks.
or 40 minutes where nothing happened, then there was a climax, and now it's done.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Okay, so the next episode. Things actually happen here, I'm pretty sure, so that's nice.
Nice.
That's crazy.
The next
It's an
episode.
ambitious challenge for the writers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What
It's a data
genius?
episode, and there's another child.
Yeah, what genius decided to run 2 child-focused episodes in a row?
I wonder if it's the same writer. 1 minute countdown, by the way. Everybody queued up to the next episode. I wonder if it's the same writer. And they just really,
Yes, yes,
well,
yes.
I was going to say really good at. They really like children-focused episodes. TNG New Ground. So this episode that's coming up was written by Joe Manoski. No, the other one was written by Grant Rosenberg. Different people.
Joe Manoski is generally one of my favorite TNG writers. You know, that's one of the best ways you can kind of tell the quality of the episode is if like the person who wrote it wrote other episodes you like, except for maybe this one in Masks.
Yeah, he did Darmok, Masks. He did the Mark Twain episode.
Mm-hmm.
He made The Chase.
It was a conscious decision to have two.
Hold
child
that. Press
episodes
play
in a
in
row.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. Continue.
It means that they made a conscious decision to have two child episodes in a row.
Yes.
I mean,
This episode, Hero Worship, is directed by
Especially
Patrick
as at least the
Stewart.
last one wasn't really a relevant place in the,
The timestamp
timeline.
didn't
Could go
restart.
anywhere.
Timestamp. Okay. I'll fix the timestamp. Don't worry. Just keep going.
it's almost as like the people who wrote The Next Generation like children. Isn't that crazy?
That is pretty crazy, yeah. Their
Like some of
timestamps
them might
fixed.
even have chosen to have children. That's ridiculous.
Well, there's this weird misconception, I think, in sci-fi especially, but I think just in film and television in general, where they think that to appeal to kids or like adolescents, teens and preteens, you should have characters age in the show, and sometimes that works, but not always. I think that was the original conception for Wesley, was that teenage boys would kind of connect with him, but the reverse happened, and everybody just kind of found him annoying.
Yeah,
It's like you watch Star Wars. I didn't want to be a kid in Star Wars. I wanted to be Han Solo or Luke Skywalker. So putting a kid in a Star Wars movie, to appeal to kids seems kind of counterintuitive to that. I didn't want to be young Anakin Skywalker. I wanted to be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I will say, like, I can kind of vibe with the kid in this episode because I remember when I was in like elementary school watching my bootleg copy of the Next Generation on YouTube back when you could still do that sort of thing. Like Data was my favorite character, and to some degree he still is, because he's definitely the coolest maybe member of the bridge crew, where he's just good at everything and has no actual problems. And so, like, I definitely wanted to be more like Data as a kid, because Data's
Everybody loves Data.
Data's kind of badass if he has the opportunity to do so.
So what class of ship is this? Is this an
This
Oberth?
Yeah, I think so.
This is
Oberth
not
question.
blown up.
Yes.
Isn't there one that looks virtually identical to an Oberth, but is technically different? I swear there's another one.
I think there is.
Maybe.
I still hate the fact that their flashlights are just... They have to hold it with their entire hand. Big
Do we ever
cubicle lights.
see an Oberth like succeed at anything?
They're not even very bright. They're really worthless flashlights. They only work like a foot away. All right, Data, solve the problem, please. I was looking at how Riker... Why is it turned off now, the flashlight? Oh, probably for the CG effect. But that flashlight is actually pretty... I mean, it's not bright at all. It doesn't really help you see anything. I'm reminded of a particular comic of XKCDs. Like, oh, remember how flashlights sucked when we were kids, always dim and flickery? Well, I discovered there are now internet flashlight enthusiasts, and the technology has improved.
Yeah.
Oh, flashlights are so much better now.
Oh yeah, LEDs are just awesome in general.
You can light the entire town
there's this
up with a
episode.
flashlight.
It's the True Data episode for that.
I need to get a new flashlight. I don't think I have a good one.
That's right. Well, flashlights were dim and crap, and they needed like 3D batteries, so they were mostly battery.
They had those wind-up flashlights. You had to spin the thing to charge it, and then it worked for like a second.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Well, I mean,
Completely
even
worthless.
any kind of light back in the day. I mean, look at like the headlights on a car from the 70s. It
I don't have
spits
a
light
car
like
from the 70s.
5 feet ahead of the car. It was ridiculously bad.
Okay.
We got LEDs, so much better.
Just make sure if you swap out your headlights for LEDs, that you go to get them actually properly oriented. Don't just shine your massively bright LEDs into people's eyes. It's very important.
Unless you don't like them.
Unless you don't like them. But then, I mean, you probably don't want to cause your enemy to get in a car crash. When the most likely car they're going to crash into is you. You just have to aim them at the road, not at the cars. So this episode has one of those clips I really like at the end where how much do I want to spoil it? Basically, the climax of the episode where Data figures out what's going on.
Oh yeah, this one actually might have an interesting B plot, doesn't it?
Does it have a B plot? I don't know what the B plot is.
Oh yeah, the A plot is. Yeah. So I just did took a quick peek at
it's not O'Brien
the
today.
Oberth class on Memory Alpha, and I looked at every single Oberth class vessel that we see on screen. Across all of Star Trek, we see a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Oberth class ships. 1, 2, 4. 6 of those are destroyed and or experience accidents which murder everyone aboard.
Okay. That sounds about on par for Starfleet.
Yeah. One of them has multiple appearances in DS9 and TNG where it just shuttles people around. But in according to one piece of background, if you read one of the screens in the background, it talks about how it's experienced numerous casualties. And then the other 2 do survive and don't seem to be experience any kind of terrible accidents, but they also only appear in like 1 shot each.
Of course. It's never good when a ship has a prominent place other than the Enterprise in an episode. It almost always is very bad news for that ship.
Well, even like sometimes you can have ships like the Excelsior class or the Nebula class, which
I am an
may
Android
not
count
get to
1
do
for
anything
this episode.
particularly exciting. They might get to live. If you're on an Oberth class ship, it's more likely than not that you're literally all going to die.
So just briefly back to the episode. We get 2 beam lifts in back-to-back episodes, which is kind of interesting.
We get 2 what lifts?
Beams. Kids trapped under beams.
Yeah, we get to see it kind of side by side between how much where we
also
can
a
see
child
how
lift.
Carrying the kid.
where we get to see how much better at his job Data is than Worf.
Yeah.
So this kid actor is named Josh Harris. Like I mentioned, he was on a couple episodes of Twin Peaks. He was a regular on the series Dallas in the late '80s into early '90s.
Oh wow!
And he after leaving acting in the '90s, he started working in video production, and he's actually head of like a really big commercial and music video production company right now.
Okay.
Wow.
Good for you, Timothy.
Yeah, he did really well for himself after acting.
That's quite the career too. I mean, those 3 shows.
No, and that's the thing. Like, people in the industry know who he is. It's just like they have no idea he was an actor.
Right.
Purple helmets and phaser rifles. Was it the Kzinti? Was it the cat people?
Nope.
I like to imagine, like we see in the original series, all these human-like planets, and like really, really, really human-like, like the one that's literally identical to Earth in the '60s, except all the parents were killed by the boomer virus or something. And I like to think this just suggests that a significant fraction of Star Trek aliens that we never see are just random humans who are in deep need of the U.S. Constitution.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Data
So
had
I think it was just random humans in purple helmets.
It's interesting that Data what? Soma? Soma, come back to us. I think he's gone. Okay. Inside the core. Okay. So this is just the... There we go. Okay. I thought we were lingering on that shot a little long.
And thanks to the remaster, we get to see that... Oh, never mind.
Oh, I was going to say, when we were talking about the puppets earlier, like, we can kind of complain like, oh, it looks rough. But yeah, you have to keep in mind, like, this was all broadcast in standard definition back in the day. So
That's true.
you wouldn't notice these things.
And it's not a bad looking puppet either.
That was pretty good.
No, absolutely not. But like, that's why I give the show so much leeway in terms of like, does the makeup look fake or does this not look right? It's like, for the time they were doing incredible work. Yeah.
Visible seams and costumes that were not visible at the time.
Yeah. Like in that last shot, we got to see that Data has arm hair, even though he's an android. Which I guess you could put that in there, but I don't think Dr. Soong would want to spend a couple weeks figuring out how to get that body hair to grow right.
No, he totally would. Because we have that bit with Dr. Bashir later on, where the whole thing is about, the whole conversation is about how Dr. Soong went to extreme lengths to make Data look human in all ways.
Suppose. You think he would have gotten, the skin colors, like I could do that.
Dr. Crusher fixed his skin in like an hour.
When's that?
The episode Unification, where he turns into a Romulan.
All right, yeah.
Oh, right.
No problem whatsoever. Barely an inconvenience. Just fix his skin. That feels like a really actually terrible thing to say, to fix someone's skin. Maybe I shouldn't use that phrase.
Yeah, something about that seems a little problematic.
Maybe don't take that
really good. We get some really good Geordi backstory here, which is interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about he when he was in a fire before he got his visor, so he was terrified.
That is a really good part of his backstory. As hard as tragedy is to sometimes have in a story, that is what gives empathy.
Yeah, it also does explain some of his clingy behavior, I think.
These episodes are really similar for 2 episodes that basically go back to back, where you have a kid who's like 10 or 11 years old come aboard the ship, who latches on to or is connected to one of the main bridge characters, and they need to find a way to live in society.
Why wasn't this the teacher character from the last episode?
Yeah,
Sorry.
this man doesn't hold a candle to Miss Kyle.
Yeah.
Why can't we get Miss Kyle back? It's been like a week since we last cast her.
Yeah. Anyway, the similarities between these episodes are really striking. And it's kind of interesting to just how much better this one is compared to the other one.
Wasn't there a writer's strike this season?
I think that was in like season 2 or 3.
It was 2.
Was there not? Okay.
That's why we got Shades of Grey.
Yeah. And which is why the conspiracy aliens never appeared again.
Nope. They got replaced by the Borg.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't really know what the Borg were going to be when they wrote all the arc stuff for season 1. They thought they were going to be like bug aliens, but the puppets ended up being too expensive.
Thank you, Data. What would the Breen be doing? Yeah, we never see a Breen in TNG. I thought they were made up for DS9, but no. Breen. They don't really wear purple helmets, but, you know, maybe Timothy just saw it wrong. Ah, an electrostatic differential in the docking latches.
I understand that.
Really, Troy?
Shock.
You can't. What is
wow,
the point
Troy
of
being useless. What a.
What do you
why
do
are you
on
even
the
here?
ship?
There is an episode where she's essential.
Yeah, but I mean,
In fact,
she should be more essential than she is.
Yeah.
Like, it's smart to have a Betazoid on board, but like, get a better one.
Can we get a full Betazoid? Maybe someone who can actually say things.
I mean, this was a frustration to Rita Sirtis, wasn't it? That
I can imagine.
like her character was not
the
as useful as
writers
she
never
should be.
gave her anything useful to do.
Yeah.
Every episode where she could be useful, they just have her say, "I can't sense it."
Right.
Yeah. Well, thankfully we get a Deanna Troi episode. The next episode. Oh no, wait.
You say thankfully.
Maybe that's not good.
The episode is also titled Violations, so.
Yeah,
boy.
Troy definitely ran into like the TNG glass ceiling, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah.
I really like this scene where he kind of asks Data what he thinks of his construction.
Yeah, I really like that model. That looks like
cool.
such a good toy IRL. Those are like
I wonder if they built that prop
S-tier
piecemeal.
building blocks.
I wonder if that's just something spray painted or if they built that piecemeal. I would assume it's something else.
It was a scale model from another episode. Not actually.
It could be just like they had a deconstructed, I don't know, Capitol building or something in the prop department. They're like, spray paint it gray. We'll add these flat pieces and you can use those.
Yeah.
You know, he asks him, do you want a frank evaluation? And Data, of course, has no candor, so he's just very direct.
Well, he did ask if he wanted a frank evaluation.
Yeah, and this kid is really struggling with his emotions. He can't handle it, but he wants to reconnect somehow.
Well, maybe Timothy should get better at model building.
That's true.
Get good, kid. What are you doing?
I feel like Joe Minowski was just trying to show up the writer of the other episode too. Like
yeah.
Why do we have an episode like in the last one where we have a more mature bridge character dealing with the kid who's having difficulty, with their current environment, and
Timothy,
they don't
you're just an
understand
idiot.
what's
What are you doing,
really
Timothy?
going on, and they need to do some kind of parenting thing.
I think it's easier with Data than with Worf, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean,
but also it just shows how much a difference better dialogue can make.
Yeah,
Yeah, the kid is written better, and this is a better child actor. Like he's better in every single way.
Yeah, this actor is just acting circles around what Bonsall
is
did,
he that?
unfortunately.
He also had the issue where he tried to put a roof on something that didn't have walls yet, so that's not great in his favor.
Yeah, but that's something
the
a kid
later
would
scenes
do.
when he's dressing like Data, he's really good.
Is it? Because I definitely played with building blocks when I was a child, and I was aware of the concept of walls at the time.
Right, but he's impatient.
Yeah.
He wants to finish the model, and he's not doing it right. It's not a great look for the kid. Like, he does look a little bit dumb, but also kids are dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
and they're impatient. Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I feel like kids can get pretty into building blocks, and just because. Even compared to
this
others,
is very
kids.
important plot-wise for Data. He's saying that being better is subjective, where in the pilot episode, when he's first asked that question, he says, "I am superior, sir, in many ways."
Yeah.
He was so murdery before. Now he's actually chilling out.
I was grabbing some coffee earlier. Did anyone mention this is directed by Patrick Stewart?
Briefly, yes. Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, literally, that's why I got mentioned. There was no further commentary.
So was that simply an occasion there where they filmed Brent Spiner literally just putting it together, and the child actor standing there, and they sped it up?
Oh,
I think they did a split screen effect because the child was very clearly not sped up.
Yeah, it was just a simple split screen fade there. Yeah.
They played the kid in normal speed, then they played Data in like 5 times speed.
Yep, that's why the kid never crossed the line.
Yeah,
of course.
I wonder how many takes it took them to have him put that thing together with no mess ups and falling apart.
Yeah,
I wonder if they reversed it.
Messed it up multiple times.
Ooh, reverse it. That's a good.
Yeah, I think they probably reversed it. It's probably run in reverse. They have him disassembling it.
It reminds me of the Lego
that's much better than
commercials.
Remember those days when nobody except filmmakers in Hollywood could reverse film?
That's crazy.
I remember in the 80s and 90s, like, even most adults not being cognizant of, like, how anything was done on film, like, from special effects to lighting to anything. And now it's like, everybody kind of knows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, special features on DVDs kind of opened that world up a good bit.
It really did.
That's a big point.
Yeah, I remember learning so much from those Lord of the Rings extras because there's just hours of that stuff.
I was literally just about to mention those. I don't know if any of you guys watch Lindsay Ellis on YouTube, but she's a film critic and film studies kind of YouTube channel. And
yeah, she gets really analytical. She's great. Yeah,
and she credits those special features on those DVDs for basically starting her film career.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Captain Disillusion, but
oh yeah, the guy with the
definitely,
silver makeup.
Yeah, that's like a perfect YouTube channel with regular uploads, and every single video has like sky high production quality.
Yeah, that guy's really like a genius too. I mean, some of the stuff he does is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 I Am an Androids this episode so far.
I was saying, like, I like this performance.
Yeah, kid's good. Androids do not like things. However,
this scene would have been so much better if you like try to order Data's like industrial lubricant in a wine glass, and he just like spits it out.
I know we were bagging on. I know we were bagging on Troy earlier, but actually, she's being really like good here and kind of
now she's doing something.
Yeah.
Now, she's letting him kind of run through this. She's not saying you're not an android. Why are you acting like that?
It's true.
Yeah, Troy feels almost like she was like misplaced by HR, where she's a really good counselor, or a therapist, and.
She might be a really good therapist. It's just she doesn't really do anything on the bridge. She's just kind of
she should be on the bridge.
Almost all of the actual part of the job she's good at happens off screen.
It's like sending your army psychologist to the front lines. It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, yeah. Troy, I feel like should just get a lot of credit for the fact that everyone on the Enterprise isn't a whimpering mess, and is instead
With all
seems
the
like
horrors they endure
Yeah.
every single week.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, like they're incredibly well put together.
Yeah. I've said it before on this channel. You know, you serve on the Enterprise. You've got Q showing up on the bridge with a mariachi band. Like, all bets are off. You do not know what's ever going to happen any given day.
No.
Yeah. I keep thinking of the crew members that like get sucked into the floor in the one episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like their collisions got messed up.
So is this why everybody's so much more emotional in the chronologically earlier series? TOS, Enterprise, and Discovery? Because they don't have a counselor, so they're all freaking out all the time.
Yeah, Troy would have been like the new Michael Burnham in Discovery as someone who's able to like effectively talk people through emotional trauma and have them deal with their problems in a productive and healthy way.
This is actually, I think, one of the very few episodes where Counselor Troy gets to actually do really good counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's kind of a fun scene with the hair combing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brent Spiner here. Brent Spiner getting to do a little slapstick.
Also, Timothy, that's a really good question. Why isn't he the captain?
He shows that he's very good in one of the previous episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when he gets put on the
USS
Melbourne
Sutherland.
or the yeah. And
He never becomes captain.
everyone's like kind of distrustful of him because he's a robot for some reason.
He's an
And
android,
then-
not a robot.
Yeah, and then he just has the sort of
And then-
authoritative command style where it's a little alienating, but Data is literally always right.
A fun, really small moment there. Brent Spiner, Data looking in the mirror to check his own hair so he can better pattern
Oh yeah.
the hair.
Even though, of course,
Also-
Data would definitely know what his hair looks like perfectly.
Yeah, he, for lack of a better term, would have a photographic type image in his brain.
Also, 24th century hairbrushes are just 1990s hairbrushes without a handle.
I
Good.
never noticed.
They
We grew
invented
past
I knew that
the
they were
handles.
real.
Yeah.
I knew that they were real hairbrushes, but I never noticed that all they did was just remove a handle. I thought they were just handheld like that.
Well, there are brushes like that, though. I mean, without handles, like purposely designed.
So I think we had a cut in the middle of the scene there, because Timothy's hair was pretty messy toward the back. Brent Spiner didn't brush it all the way. And then it suddenly cut,
yeah.
and it was perfectly clean.
Yeah, like whenever Brent Spiner brushes the hair and they like need to redo the scene, they send the kid back to makeup to have his hair done back into the way it was earlier in the scene.
Yep, it's a continuity thing, much like these paintings where it's you don't see them doing any actual changes to the painting really.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Also, Data is an android, but by definition, an android is a robot.
You say that, but Data gets real offended if you do.
Are we splitting hairs right after the hair scene?
Maybe it has a different connotation.
Androids
in
do
the
not have
future.
split ends.
Android is a subset of robot.
Then why does Data get so offended when people call him a robot?
Well,
I like that he
guess
even found a
human
similar
beings-
shirt.
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, I don't know if Data does get offended, but I guess it's sort of like if you called a human being a mammal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a mammal, but there's more to the story.
I was just saying, yeah, you got a similar but not the same shirt.
It's like in Most Toys when he gets put in the museum and he's just what am I trying to say? Like he obviously he doesn't have emotions, but you can tell he's kind of indignant that he just has to sit in a chair all day.
Hmm.
Any subject. Data,
When I
tell me about the birds and the bees.
And he'll literally tell you about birds and bees.
Tell me
Tell me
about the
about your
maximum
relationship
output of
with-
the Enterprise's deflector dish.
Oh.
Data, where are the weapons lockers on the ship?
Tell me everything you know about trilithium.
what What can you tell me about voodoo?
Can you build a tri-cobalt bolt device with me, Data?
Have you ever been ordered
That's the
not to
last-
disclose the existence of time travelers or ancient civilizations?
Yeah,
What's the
if
last-
our minds were theoretically, if our minds were wiped by a series of xenophobic aliens who didn't want the location of their homeworld known, would you keep that a secret from everybody, or
Well, like in the movie Men in Black?
yeah, or in the
Exactly.
the
How about your
episode
relationship with Tasha Yar?
Clues?
Forgot what I was going to say now.
Why 35%? This is the only time we specify how strong we're making the shields.
Whenever the shields are at 35% now, I'm just going to think that they can just charge them back up to 100%.
Lots of leaning in their acting here.
Not
Smooth
quite the same time there.
Yeah, some are more coordinated than others.
If you actually saw what Patrick Stewart was seeing, there was someone standing inside the view screen, choreographing the leaning.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah, that makes sense.
And all the outtakes when they're having screen shaking, it's just someone in the background yelling, "Shake, shake, shake."
Yeah.
And I love
for
how good
that
those
one-
high def panels look.
I love how when you get to see the screws on the computer panels.
Oh yeah, or uneven paint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Also
love
for
how
shaking, they'll sometimes
crisp
yell
those
left or
look.
right. So they all jerk to the side.
I remember reading in the Enterprise D technical manual, one of the readouts in sickbay on the medical monitors is how much medical insurance is remaining for the patient.
Wow.
But you're never able to see that on camera.
There's
It's
no way that
always
was
in
a
the
real
background.
reflection. That reflection was very CG.
Was it possible to see the wood grain on the bridge arc thing in standard definition?
I think you knew it was made out of wood. I don't know how clearly you could see the grain.
I think you could.
Yeah, seems plausible.
I forget. I came in late, and so I can't remember all of Timothy's story. But does he have relatives that he's going to be given to for foster care now?
It's not clear. I think he's just being
I
sent.
don't think it matters.
Yeah,
back.
they don't.
But his parents are dead, so it's not.
They don't really
ideal
say.
either way.
He's gonna live with
Yep.
Data.
He gets to do the opposite of what happened to Worf, where he goes and lives in Klingon Russia, and he has to he lives with all these really violent Klingons, and he needs to discover what it's like to be a really pacifist and pragmatic human.
Oh, yeah.
like
Now I remember what I was going to say.
Okay.
You're drinking from blenders. I remember when I first saw this episode, I came in partway through it, where Timothy's talking with Counselor Troy, and she says, "So you're an android now?" And I thought, "Wait, what? When did that happen?" Because I thought he wasn't kidding.
She's humoring him. Yeah. I like it. He's even got the head movements down.
I did not realize the effect was so distracting.
Yeah, they get to that.
Number 3, there it is. I think that might be the last time an android for this episode.
I think a lot of us as kids probably had some, I mean, not this specific, obviously, but some version of this where, we felt bullied or emotionally uncomfortable or whatever, and it was just easier to, turn those emotions off.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
Yeah, growing up as a kid in the '90s, being a fan of Star Trek was not an easy thing.
Oh, man. I had to lie to my friends and stuff. It was a thing.
I grew up as a fan of Star Trek in the 2000s when most people my age never even heard of the show.
Yeah, I was going to say before the J.J. Abrams Trek, there was a big gap.
I only started in Star Trek toward the end of high school, and I don't think I ever actually talked about it with anyone. I just watched it.
I had a bunch of Trekkie friends. I don't know what.
Oh, hey, Tracy. Bye, Tracy.
Tracy.
I didn't know anybody
just
else
have
in my
that on
school who
loop in
actually
the
liked
server.
Star Trek until I was in high school, and it turns out that guy was a real piece of shit. So.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
No.
Trekkies are weird.
Shit. That's so uncomfortable.
Trekkies are weird. Trekkers are not.
What's that supposed
Nice.
to mean?
I'm saying I'm a geek, not a nerd.
Oh, of course,
Okay.
yeah.
And we can get into that debate too.
Yeah, just don't be a dork. You'll be fine.
Just don't be a dork,
Who isn't a
because
fan of Star Trek?
If I have a Star Trek YouTube channel, does that qualify me as a dork?
Are you guys
the
familiar?
definition.
No, you're a geek.
No,
Okay.
you're a dork when you start hosting watch-alongs and when you start attending the watch-alongs.
Are you guys familiar with
Yeah,
the
how
phrase
embarrassing.
distinction without a difference?
With the exception of
Sure.
the word,
Distinct without a
with
difference.
the exception of the exception of the word adorkable,
It's
the
like
hierarchy from bottom to top is dork, nerd, geek. My definitions have always been: a dork is a person who lacks social skills and knowledge. A nerd is
Wait, let
someone
me
who
grab my
has,
guidebook.
a nerd is someone who has knowledge but still lacks social skills, and a geek is somebody who has knowledge and social skills.
Yeah. That sounds
Wait, what
actually.
was dork again? What was dork again?
Dork is if you lack both knowledge and social skills.
Okay, so most people are dorks.
I mean,
I
the original
didn't say that.
definition. The original definition of the word dork is a whale penis. So.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't say
That's
that
right.
either, for sure.
I mean,
You know what else
those
has
things-
whales? Star Trek.
Those
4.
don't know anything
Let's talk
about Star Trek.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the whale penis from Star Trek 4.
Gracie's pregnant.
And how do you get a Gracie pregnant? There's,
Spock saw it happen.
Guys, you know who isn't a fan of Star Trek? Patrick
Shatner?
Stewart. Yeah.
Almost anyone who was on Star Trek.
Almost
Yeah.
anyone who's on the show. I think Jonathan Frakes is the only Star Trek fan who appeared in Star Trek.
Yeah. And
Garrett
and
Wong
like
really
and the
likes
guest
Star
stars who
Trek.
show up
Garrett
at
Kim.
conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a huge Star Trek.
No, I think most embrace it. Yeah.
But I remember I was listening to Patrick Stewart being interviewed on Fresh Air when Picard was coming out, and the you could tell the interviewer was a big fan of Star Trek, and he could be like, but I remember there's this question where he's like, so how did you prepare for getting back into the character of Picard? Did you watch any of The Next Generation over again? And Patrick Stewart's like, I actually didn't watch any of The Next Generation.
Every one of those actor interviews, they always say, they're asked, oh, do you watch Star Trek at all? Are you familiar with it? And they'll say, like, oh, yes, I grew up watching Star Trek on the TV with my family. It was very important to me. And every time I'm just sitting there thinking, I don't believe you. You don't sound genuine at all.
There's no middle ground. You're either a big Trek nerd or you just do not care whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
And they don't have
what
to have
cult
seen it. This is
following
just an
kind
acting
of is.
job, but
Yeah, exactly. Star Trek's
It's about
weird.
the safeguards of the systems. But there's an OBUS, so I don't think it does.
Just quickly with the episode, just to save themselves, to save the ship, they have to have him relive the experience, which is really difficult. They don't want to do it, but they have to. They need answers, and this is kind of their last resort.
It's also a good, it's also a good way of tying the two plots together.
Yeah, they really
Yeah,
dovetail
true.
nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, good performance by this kid actor. Very natural.
Yeah. Yeah, at the risk of sounding dismal, if they had been more realistic about this, he would be really falling and breaking down a whole lot more in this episode as a character.
Yeah, I think it would have felt
Murdered hundreds of people.
Yeah, it would have felt a little melodramatic for this kind of show, I think. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he could have shed more tears.
Are you telling me that people cry in real life and Star Trek isn't very realistic in the old shows?
That's crazy talk.
It also, depending on how extreme the breakdowns might have been, it also might have been just too disturbing for the audience, especially if you're targeting a child audience with a child episode. That's the thing about children. When we're children, we don't have what I call discretion, which can only be gained by growing into adulthood. We can't tell the difference between good and evil necessarily, so we have to be told it. And we have to be told that there's black and white. And later on we find out that there is not such a big thing as black and white. There's a whole lot of gray.
Oh, hey, Tracy.
And
continue.
And it's not until you gain more experience by living more life that you're able to have that discretion in order to handle more things, not everything necessarily, because obviously he would need counseling regardless of his age. But that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, this is that clip I'd mentioned at the start of the episode where Data just solves the problem. With the help of Timothy.
Timothy, yeah. Unlike Alexander, Timothy actually does something useful.
Well, and here he's kind of strained. He's kind of sighing, like he's trying to hold it together because he knows that this is important. But he's obviously in a lot of pain.
Also, Data's actually a decent father.
Yeah, Data's supportive.
He's supportive. He doesn't judge, but obviously he cannot give emotional support.
He lets his child choose its own sex and
either.
appearance.
He does.
And they're kind of, he's kind of following them around like they're a team,
Yeah.
Drop the shields.
But in terms of raising a human child who's dependent on their parents having emotional, being able to have empathy and emotional support, that's something that Data could not give.
Maybe given enough time, but yeah, that's true.
And Timothy is absolved because he thought he'd murdered hundreds of people, and now he saved 1,000. Good for you, Timothy.
You could conceivably bring this character back for Picard, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They pick the most random characters to bring back for Picard.
Can we bring back all the child actors? Just have a Rascals 2?
Oh God.
Have Rascals 2 who get the boy who played Renee, and I don't know. Well, yeah, sadly the Renee the character is dead, but must be something.
Oh, we get row your boat like Star Trek.
Everybody. Merrily, 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 life is fun.
Everybody's celebrating, everybody's all happy, and Timothy's just sitting there thinking, I mean, my parents are still dead.
Just a song.
Really about is a core part of Federation's educational curriculum.
That sweater that the teacher is wearing is so 90s futuristic.
You lie, Data. You know precisely what you're feeling.
I like how in the last episode, the last episode definitely had a better depiction of what school would be like in the future, where like it seemed fairly informative and interesting, and it just seems like hell in this episode.
I don't. They have chairs. They have these block things. Like what's that about?
It's like they're on a
class
TV show.
Gymnasium. It's time to sing it round.
God.
And he took off his Data shirt.
Yes.
Hey, there's the sculpture in the background.
Oh yeah, he built it. Good for him.
Is that the same one?
I think
quite
these
the
are
same.
That was just a classroom toy that like everyone used.
And he just stole it, like Alexander.
I guess he just yeah, he just stole it like Alex. He put
Probably
the
a
entire
project
thing
or
in his
something.
jacket.
Well, maybe he brought it to class to put together. I don't know.
He could have just.
Maybe this
I
is
mean,
a
Probably
show and
just
tell
something to
presentation.
comfort him.
if we
Yeah, there
really
you
want to think about too hard about it, he probably just replicated another one.
I'm
Hey,
gonna write a
children
600
steal.
page.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write a
we need
600 page beta alpha.
We need an 18-minute video essay explaining where that came from.
Of course.
I could probably give you a 6-minute essay. That's generally my average runtime for those kinds of things, but I could make it for sure.
I know, I'm talking 18 minutes, 4 ad breaks, and a sponsor.
And a sponsor. That might be difficult.
And then
I
I
don't know
need
actually
someone
how to get a sponsor.
and then I need someone to
can
like,
reach
dive
out,
into
but generally
some
it's-
apocryphal novel that was only released in paperback for like 6 months that explains the intricate details of how you get toys from the Replimat.
So the next episode, 1 minute countdown, is Violations, which is definitely an episode that's going to happen for sure. Yep.
Oh boy.
Things occur in
It's
it.
there. It's there.
I don't remember. I think
This is
Waxana's
where
in this
Troy
one, actually.
pilots the ship.
I think she is.
Yeah, this is going to be deeply unpleasant to watch, but we're going to do it. We're
Yeah.
not skipping nothing.
What an episode
Oh.
to finish the watch alone on.
Say again?
I'll say.
What an episode to finish the watch alone on.
Yes.
We're gonna end on a high note tonight.
Oh boy.
If you say so.
Ooh.
I'm a little uncomfortable about this one because I can't remember a whole lot of details, but there's some stuff in here that definitely is like
Hold that thought. Press
reminiscent.
play in 5, 4,
Oh,
3,
yeah.
2, 1, play. Continue.
Yeah, like I was saying, this might be a little tricky because there's something about this episode where there's like some themes that are reminiscent of those of like assault.
Oh no,
Mhm.
it's not even reminiscent.
Fabricator.
It is. This
Yeah.
is straight up assault.
This
Yeah.
is a
It's-
rape episode. 100%.
It is a euphemism for rape.
Yeah.
How many of
And-
those do we need in TNG?
As many as we can fit in for Counselor Troy, because we don't know what else to do with her.
This is a
Painfully
really
true.
interesting idea. So you do a sort of mind meld with somebody in order to dig up memories that they're unclear on and stuff like that. And this memory here that Keiko goes through, actually, this is another instance of her being, I guess, aggressively Japanese.
Oh
because
boy.
she says it's
Yep.
because she says it's Bachan, my grandmother. Well, you, especially now with anime everywhere, you don't have to really translate what Bachan means.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this episode is unlike almost every other episode of The Next Generation, this one looks like it's written by 2 or 3 women.
Interesting.
Yeah. And one thing that I gotta say is about, what am I trying to say? Like when we watch these things, like we are all, I want to say white males, and I feel like,
I am sure for sure.
yeah, we're definitely missing important. What am I trying to say?
We had one black male on before, but he hasn't been here for a while.
Yeah, but we might need more. What am I trying to say? We don't have very diverse perspectives here.
Well, yeah, but it's it's a voluntary fandom kind of thing. I mean, it's just gonna go that
Yeah.
way, unfortunately. But we have there's at least one female viewer, I think.
A very handsome
Hannah.
woman.
Oh,
Oh God.
she said oh,
Okay, good.
so she didn't say Bachan, she said Obachan, which is a little more formal, but still Obachan. If you've used Chan for your grandmother, yeah, that's being very cute and familiar. Which you should be. If you're doing art like that, especially.
Okay.
I thought that we saw her face, though. We don't see her face. I thought for sure that we saw her face in this episode.
Wait, who? What are you talking about?
Keiko's grandmother, in her flashback, I always thought that we saw her face.
Oh.
And Keiko's face, come to think of it. When she's 7 or whatever, but I guess not. Now I'm disappointed.
Oh, God.
Yeah, this episode starts in a really bad place, too.
Yeah. Ouch.
I'm starting to remember a little bit of what happens.
That memory part there is the only part of this episode I think I remember. So the rest of this I'm going to be rediscovering. Oh, those aren't triangles. Those are holes. They're all wearing Charlie Brown ghost costumes.
Okay.
I haven't watched this one in a long time, but it's something about like rewatching it. I want to say this one might be the most interesting.
I never planned to watch this one ever again, but here we are.
Yeah.
You made it happen.
With an episode like this, I kind of have to wonder though, like, did they have a good intention and they just utterly bombed the execution?
They must have.
Like they wanted to tell tell something important.
I don't.
And they just.
I don't remember this being a bad episode.
I don't remember enough about what happens in it to say it's definitively bad, but I know for sure it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's an uncomfortable episode. That's the best way to put it.
There you go.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's good. It's good to tackle these issues, but yeah, you think back in retrospect, you're like, they could have done this better than they did.
But that's coming from the perspective of 25 years later. Television storytelling has evolved so much in the last 25 years.
True.
We are much better at telling a story now than we were back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are a couple episodes in Star Trek where you can kind of tell that it's trying to maybe present what am I trying to say, like a different perspective than what we normally get, and we can get some pretty standout episodes both in terms of quality and also just being different than what we normally get.
Well, that's just how it works, Data. You just forget stuff. It happens.
Not even close.
Data, it's complicated. Nobody's quite sure how it works.
Data,
the synapses and there's the neurons.
Like basically, college, where they gave you like an anatomy class.
It's basically a memory. Anytime you pull one up, it's basically a full recreation from your perspective.
Yeah.
So you're
over time.
Yeah, and
it also gets worse the more you think about it, which drives me nuts to. Yeah.
And people can change your memories if they convince you well enough.
This is why I say I don't believe in ghosts, even though I know for sure I've seen a ghost before. Because I was a child at the time.
I remember watching Sub-Rosa as a child.
I'll say his memory tells him that Sub-Rosa is a good episode. But that's his faulty memory.
Also, things like injury and psychological trauma can also cause your brain to suppress or not make any certain memories accessible anymore. Also, when Data says when you just access the right file, well, haven't you ever lost computer files anywhere ever? Yeah.
Nah, Jordy has 3 backups.
Yeah, he has like an entire backup of like Data's disk. Yeah, like sitting in some random folder in his desktop. It's like
Well,
data
all you need for a full
.var.
backup of data is just one little neuron from data. That's all you need.
Oh yeah,
Apparently.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, this
That
is
was such an incredible, way too far stretch.
Recover
Yeah.
all your data with this one simple trick.
Yeah.
Just ludicrous. Yeah.
All your data with a capital D.
this is the rarely seen captain's mess redress of the conference room.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought it was just the conference room with the tablecloth.
This is also where we get another Klingons do not. Unless we already saw that. I've kind of been on my other screen doing other stuff. What's
No,
happening?
I don't think so.
This guy's
Worf's
assaulting
been very
people?
quiet.
There it is. Klingons do not allow themselves. Come on, Worf. Say the thing.
Don't allow themselves.
Thank you, Worf. That's all we wanted from this episode. We're done.
Go to bed, Michael.
If only.
Why are you so obsessed with getting these people's memories, man? Leave them alone.
These are one of the most uncomfortable aliens, honestly, in the entire series, because they're just sort of here to like be a symbol or a metaphor for like all
Assault,
sorts,
yeah.
assault and like pressure and like harassment and not having appropriate boundaries.
But he's
Yeah.
having a great time. He's loving it.
The white-haired guy, the way he looks a bit like TV's Frank from Mystery
Oh my
Science.
god, he does. Holy shit. That is awesome.
To the
He's
point where
he's
at
Frank
one point
everybody.
thank you for backing me up. No, for a second I was like, that can't be Frank Conniff. It's not.
No,
but,
it's not.
Frank who?
Mystery Science Theater 3000, the show from the 80s and 90s. Frank Conniff played one of the mad scientists, aka TV's Frank. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
if you're
The
not a fan of the
character's
show,
name-
it's a meaningless reference. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. The character's name was literally TV's Frank.
Yeah.
Yes. Very important to know.
And then the
How
Michael
dare you
Patton
reference
Oswald
things
playing
I'm not familiar
TV's son
with.
of TV's Frank, just to stretch it
Yeah.
further.
Oh, yeah,
Because
Patton Oswalt.
because
Yeah.
TV's Frank got taken to Second Banana Heaven by Torgo the White.
Wow, you are a Misty man. I love it.
Which was far more than a decade before the Lord of the Rings movie trilogy. So you really had to be a nerd to even get the reference they were using in that episode of Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, that
Yeah,
that
very
shot
very
of him.
highbrow.
That shot of
Yeah.
that guy as the door was closing. The show really wants us to think he's evil.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun. What kind of a what? What kind of what is this called? A nightgown. What kind of a nightgown only has one shoulder and a thick rope that you're gonna really put pressure on yourself if you lay on it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, she is the goddess of empathy, so she's gonna wear some weird stuff.
It's true.
Oh, it doesn't just
chocolate.
go around
It
the
even has
top
more
either.
rope
There's
on the
like a
side.
big bundle of it under her arm.
So
That would be
it's
so
very
uncomfortable.
adjustable. You have to actually tie a knot in the rope for your appropriate size.
That would be
Yes, you
incredibly
can-
uncomfortable.
Yes, you can have
Speaking of
hot
incredibly
chocolate before you
uncomfortable.
go to bed. Yes,
Yeah,
you
we're
can have
getting there.
hot chocolate before you go to bed, but you have to brush your teeth again.
Well, this is the future, so they don't get cavities. You dropped your poker chips.
Oh no!
Don't make her lay
Well,
down
that's
on
what-
the poker chips. Those are going to dig into her back, Riker. What are you doing?
I was gonna say dropping the poker chips is the least of her problems.
Blinds.
I'll say this for the episode: I do like the music. I think the music is it's a very certain tone.
It's very spooky.
Yeah.
I might duck out of this one in a minute, just because.
I envy you.
Yeah, it's not an
It's
episode
uncomfortable.
that's appropriate to riff.
Yeah.
Ryan's the only one who has to stay, huh?
Yeah, everyone else is free to leave, and I can just like go play Minecraft or something on the screen while this video plays in the background.
I'll just keep talking about the music and the wardrobe and the makeup and anything but what's actually happening.
Danny tip
I
number
appreciate
28:
that.
don't assault people. Assault
Probably
is
should
bad.
be higher on the list. Probably should have been one of the first ones there.
I think it already has been
I
on the
think
list,
it-
actually, but it's worth repeating.
Yeah, I think it's on there somewhere already.
Yeah. Number 28, just to reiterate.
Yeah.
It's also rule number 26 and 24 and 22.
Actually, I remember there was I remember the specific rule. The specific rule is don't hurt your partner unless you're both into that. I don't remember what the context was, but I remember that's what the rule was. I think it was the DS9 rule.
Sparkly blanket.
Troy, for the record, was absolutely not into that. She did not consent to that. Don't just no. That's bad.
So here's the question that I have. All the other instances that we see of him doing this to people, he doesn't really modify their memories. Are we meant to think that Riker tried to rape Troy?
I
think they addressed that later. Oh yeah, that was Worf and Jadzia when they walked into sickbay. They don't hurt your partner. I think they're going to talk about it later. If this was a real thing that happened with Riker, probably not.
I don't think they ever address it.
no, yeah,
There's no way they're going to accuse a main character of actually doing that.
yeah, no,
I think we're supposed to think that he's fucking with the memory.
yeah.
It could simply
That's
be.
moral of Empire territory
Well,
right there.
yeah.
Like, you don't characters don't come back from that.
Don't they
No,
address
it
that?
could see-
Don't they literally?
It could have
I think they
started
do
as
talk
some.
about it.
It could have started as a surreal dream. Like you have surreal dreams, like you've got 6 children, even though you're not even married yet, or you've got a cell phone that's 2 stories high, or whatever.
I remember. Do you guys remember the episode where Riker is accused of murder on that space station? He kills a scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's the woman that testifies against him and says that he was basically like doing this, being
Yeah.
very rapey about it.
Mhm.
And Troy just doesn't. Troy says that she's telling the truth. So maybe this is in character for Riker.
I mean, yeah. So while Riker thinks that he's not behaving improperly, I imagine that's the feeling of a lot of guys who act that way.
Yeah.
Like they don't think they're doing anything wrong, and they're very much doing something wrong.
So yeah, Commander Riker. Maybe he's not that great a guy.
But let's see. Let's do an alternate universe take on this. If these Illyrians, what are they?
These magic
Yulians.
space people.
Yulians. Okay, so assuming that they were genuinely good people, and assuming that you had known them well enough to trust them for such an intimate thing, what kinds of things would you like to have recalled that have become foggy in your memory?
Gosh.
I'd be interested to see that ghost memory again. See if that's legit. Well, I mean, I know it's not legit, but see in what way it's not legit.
I'd like to really refresh a whole lot of memories from grade school.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing really specific that I can think of off the top of my head. But
Yeah.
like from ages like 5 to like 11, I don't remember a whole lot. At least not clearly.
Watching
Very few
episodes
memories
of,
of being a child.
I want to recall memories of watching episodes of Star Trek for the first time.
Ah, see.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Glad
When
to know I'm
you
not
were,
the only one. I remember almost nothing from my childhood, like at all. It's just
I remember I
Totally
was a child
random
at one
things.
point.
I think most
Yeah,
people.
I remember when I was in kindergarten, our family took a family trip to Walt Disney World, and I only have one memory of that, of getting, of maybe one glimpse of Cinderella Castle from the outside, and then sitting at a table in the restaurant inside and getting a glass of milk. That's the only thing from the whole trip that I remember.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot, but I do have one that randomly sticks out from kindergarten. And at the kindergarten, we had a Care Bears cloud car, and if you push it along, and it makes this really loud popping noise, and I loved it. And I remember getting so upset any other time any child touched that, because that is my clown car.
Okay,
Yeah.
Alexander.
That's fun. I love how we're working so hard to talk about anything but this episode.
Yeah.
Well,
Is there an
a really
episode
good
going on? I didn't
deviation.
even notice.
When I
Yeah,
was
I
in
think you might as well
kindergarten, I
just shut
liked
it
to play
down.
with the different colored shaped blocks. Like there was the yellow hexagon and the red trapezoid, and you arrange them into fancy, colorful shapes and pictures. That
I
was
would
fun.
have.
The
I would
blue
like to have
triangles.
more. I would like to have more visual record of what our computers were when we were growing up, because we went through several of them and we don't really have those anymore.
Right.
And
Yeah, we went to
that's where I
Disney
did
World
a
when I
whole lot
was
of my
like-
growing up in creativity.
We went to
I
Disney
like this
World when I
weird
was, like, 8 or
stretch
9.
look.
And the only thing I remember from going to Disney World was the very first ride that we rode, which was the Peter Pan ride, which was really cool, if I remember correctly, where you
Oh, yeah.
basically sit in
Yeah.
a pirate ship and fly over all these like miniaturized scenes, and it was the perspective made it look really neat.
Remember this too, yeah. Right
Tracy.
on, man. Oh, I was gonna say I like this weird stretched like flashback look. It's a very unique kind of video effect. It's simple,
Yeah.
but I think
Well, why
it
does that
conveys
engineer
like
look
sort of
like
the
Ted Cruz?
quality.
Yeah.
Oh no! That how you got started?
Apparently, I mean, look at him.
You should do
Yeah, it
some
looks like Ted
surreal effects like this, Ryan.
I should do video effects like this.
Yeah, some weird visual effects. Like
I guess I could.
I don't know why, or not why. I mean, why? Because it's fun, but for what, I'm not sure specifically right now.
I would argue some of his deepfakes are just as horrifying. So
They're amazing.
no, they're well done. I'm not debating that. It's just
What do you have
Effects
against
sometimes.
giant-faced Tom Paris?
apparently everything.
I loved that video. That was fucking hilarious.
My favorite part about that is the comments who thought I didn't realize the face was too big. I thought that was normal when I made it.
I remember I watched that. Maybe I didn't see it when it first came up, or I don't know. But I watched that like first thing in the morning one day and just started laughing hysterically.
Good.
I watched it and I couldn't figure out what was other than the photoshopped face. I couldn't figure out what was different or why or what had been changed. So what actually
How
had
do
been
you-
changed?
It was just the face.
How
But it
were you
was-
getting samples for Tom Paris? Like, do you automate grabbing screenshots from Voyager or something in some way?
So what? Well, in this case, I didn't actually use Voyager. What you do is you get a video clip that has the face you want, or several video clips in a row. I just like combine various scenes into one long video. You put that in and it extracts all the faces in there, and then you make sure that all the faces it extracts are the faces you want, so you don't have like shots of bloody Ensign Kim. And then that forms the sample. It pulls the images from video.
Okay. Because, like, if you could scan the entirety of Star Trek Voyager, I bet you could do a deep fake that you wouldn't even be able to tell that anything was done to him.
I mean, probably. Though in that particular one, I didn't actually use Voyager. I just used the same clip twice
Okay.
for both the source and the destination. I just deepfaked it onto itself.
So the video
it doesn't
title's a
matter.
lie.
Yeah, it's a lie.
So what did you actually do in that video? So Robert Duncan McNeil played both characters, so I don't understand what the
It was
deep
April
fake
Fool's
is.
Day.
I still don't understand what the deep fake was.
The deepfake was deepfaking an actor onto just himself and acting like it's something new and fancy because it was April Fool's Day.
Oh, now I get it.
And also making his face really big because I could.
That part I did not notice, honestly.
How do you not know his face is like twice the size it should be? His eyes are the size of baseballs.
That's what you should do. Just enlarge somebody's eyes only.
The
The
Gowron effect.
Powerpuff Girls effect, yeah.
Anyway, the episode is still happening. Riker's now been assaulted by the space alien.
I just thought of another thing you could do. Could make everybody give everybody bobblehead proportions.
Yeah. You can
Replacing-
move like
You
bobbleheads.
can
even better.
replace someone's whole head, but it's way more complicated. Much easier if you just replace the face. I did try to do that with Commander Riker, replacing his head so the bearded version was in season 1, and it didn't work at all. He had a mustache, and that was it.
So
it was lo-
so does
it was-
the engine recognize the beard and mustache as part of the face, or is it too fuzzy, no pun intended, for it to do anything with?
Mustache counts as part of the face because it just takes the whole face in like an oval. For an actual full beard, like around the jaw, that's a lot harder because it doesn't generally work with the side of the face, just the middle bit. So if you want to replace and give someone a beard, you have to do a whole head replacement, which means you have to mask out the head to give it a bunch of samples. You have to mask the head in a very specific way, and it's just... And the training doesn't work quite as well. It's hard. Beards don't really work for it without a lot of effort.
Hmm. Someday you'll have to give all the specs on your computer set up.
I mean, I can give them right now if you want. We're certainly not watching the episode, so I've got time.
Yeah, I'll type them into the Discord for good record.
Let's see, what kind of RAM do I have? I think I have 32 gigs of DDR4. Oh wait, no, on the Discord, I think I've done this before. Oh, that would have been a while ago, though. I have no idea how far up I need to scroll to find that.
You might be able to search for it.
Search bar to find it.
There's a search bar in the Discord channels.
But I have no idea what I typed to search. I think I just...
Wait, did he just say biennium as if that's a material and not an amount of time?
No, Billennium.
Okay.
I have the
It's
captions on, so I can see what it's saying.
Oh, nice.
It's similar to a Willennium,
Oh, God.
Will Smith.
Non-chemical? Everything's chemical.
Yeah.
I don't need things with
agents.
chemicals in them. Maybe I can find the PC part picker build in my browser history.
Is this more uncomfortable than the Sub Rosa episode for Beverly?
No, because Sub Rosa is actually funny. This is just bad.
Oh my god, the hair.
There we go.
The piece is great.
I found my complete build. Where would you like it posted?
Reposting in either or both.
Chatting, I guess. Or
Yeah.
Star Trek
Sure.
General.
In Discord, it is now in the chatting tab.
That's what she said.
So this is a real memory. Captain Picard telling her that her husband's dead. I mean, at least they're not being assaulted in the same way that Deanna was.
Well, Riker wasn't either.
Riker wasn't either.
Yeah.
Though if you're looking at that PC part picker list, it doesn't actually have the price of some of the things listed because they're not available for sale, either because they're out of stock, like the graphic card, or it's just not made anymore.
Well, I never realized that we actually had a shot of, even if it's surreal, of
Patrick with hair.
Jean-Luc Picard with hair.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird since we get that picture of him from the Academy when he's already bald.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
In Nemesis.
that's a continuity error. Because we
In
also
my
see
Star
Picard.
Trek, a continuity error? Impossible.
We also see Picard shortly after he graduates the Academy in an upcoming episode, and he definitely has a full head of hair there.
Well, Jordy was right. Dr. Crusher's not too happy.
He's not doing anything right now, but
Another surreal thing is that they are the only two people in the room. There's no mortician.
Does Dr. Crusher even have nurses in this episode?
She has another doctor that she was working with. He actually just had speaking lines for the first time.
Well, good for him. I wonder if the corpse was the same actor for Jack Crusher as we saw
I think
before.
it was. He
At a
looked just
glance,
like
it
him.
looked like it to me.
You could, like, put them on a shuttle and send them away from the ship. Counselor Troy... Oh, we're getting some development now.
It is the same actor. Yeah.
Okay.
Good call.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I remember him now. The doctor. Captain, can we elaborate this off screen?
I mean, mercifully, at least she doesn't remember the details until, of course,
Yeah.
they bring it back up.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna have one of the other telepaths make her recall the memory.
Not just one of the other telepaths, the worst telepath.
The worst telepath. What do you mean? Loxana's not
The
even in this
worst
episode.
telepath.
Hey, oh!
Ouch. Burn.
I am a huge fan of Loxana, especially Deep
Okay.
Space Nine Loxana.
She does get better.
I love.
Just like-
Yeah.
The episodes where she's bad are really bad.
Yeah. It's when she's wacky, I think it works. When she's like creepy, it doesn't.
I don't think it works really when anybody's creepy.
I mean, I'm okay.
Oh, there he
I'm
is.
sort of boilerplating it, but yeah.
Yeah. It also just occurred to me, so we've got this other science officer there. We almost never see blue uniforms in TNG.
Well, let's see. There's Dr. Crusher and her nurses and doctors. Is that it?
Counselor Troy is
Counselor-
technically a blue uniform, but she doesn't wear one yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Um,
I feel like also this old woman, the old woman here, did she play Captain Picard's mother or grandmother?
I know what you're thinking, but I don't think it's the same actress.
Okay. I'm looking up her IMDb. Nope, this was her only role in Next Gen. She does show up in Voyager as Julie Raffer, who I've... Oh no, sorry. Jorah Morrill, who I have no idea who that is. Yes, he is implying that. Yeah, how do you prosecute someone for a telepathic crime? How do you prove any of this? Like the Vulcan High Command in Enterprise, they have that whole thing about how mind melds are taboo, and at one point they shout that telepathic evidence is not admissible in court. It's like, it's not evidence at all. And I think they're right on that, honestly. How do you verify telepathic evidence?
Hmm.
I guess you just have like a lot of telepaths do the mind meld and all independently confirm. But even then, that's just basically eyewitness testimony, which is not especially reliable.
Oh, I remember who that actress played in Voyager. She also looks younger in Voyager, strangely. I think the
I think
makeup
she has
is
some old
making
person
her-
makeup here.
Yeah, the makeup is making her look a lot older. But the character that she plays in Voyager, that's actually a really good episode. It's another memory thing, funnily enough. Her character is transferring her memories of being a young person to B'Elanna.
Oh,
It's a good
yeah.
episode.
The episode where B'Elanna has like visions, or she's reliving. What does that mean? Reliving someone's life. Like she's got a boyfriend, and then she's got the father who wants to genocide her boyfriend. You know,
Right.
that whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actress's name is Eve Brenner. Born May 19th, 1926. She is still alive and still acting.
Wow. Holy
How
crap.
is she still
Wow.
alive? How old is she?
It's 95.
That's, yeah, do the math. I mean, 90, 94, 95. 95, yeah. Yeah, she was in an episode of Magnum PI in 2019.
Okay. Well, good for her, I guess. I'd have
She's
expected her to be retired at 95.
then.
Was she reprising a role from the original show or something? The original, like was she in the old Magnum PI?
Doesn't look like it.
Mm.
Just playing some old lady, I guess.
Well,
All
Estelle
right, are
Getty
you guys
was
ready to
heavily
relive
made up.
Troy's trauma?
No,
Well, too bad.
Estelle
It's
Getty on
happening.
the Golden Girls was very heavily made up for her role because she was playing the eldest character, even though she was not nearly that old in real life.
Yeah, she was younger than her. She was younger than B. Arthur, who played her daughter.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wasn't she actually like the youngest actress
She
in the
was,
show?
yeah.
Of the
I think-
four of them? Yeah.
Maybe. I want to say Rue McClanahan was younger, but I'm not positive.
No, I'm pretty sure Estelle Getty was the youngest.
I can check. Just give me a minute.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. Rue McClanahan was born in 34. Estelle Getty was 23.
So, yeah, don't doubt my Golden Girls trivia knowledge. is a phrase also no one's ever used before. So there you go.
If
Yeah.
I ever need to know anything about the Golden Girls, I'll come to you first.
Speaking of which, I'm not on Twitter, but I did go to Twitter for some link that I saw earlier this morning and saw that Betty White was trending, and I thought the worst, but she's still fine.
Nice. That was good.
Oh,
She wasn't
I
like
would've
a
had the
racist
same
or some
result.
horrible thing.
What was she trending for?
I don't know.
Be
Everybody's whenever she trends, like an hour after she trends, all of the tweets are just like, "I saw Betty White trending and was scared." Yeah, like
Right.
you can't find what originally caused her to trend. Everybody's just like, "Oh my god, please no."
It's a Twitter run.
Betty White is literally
bank
older
run.
than sliced bread.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that someone made a website with all the things that John McCain is older than, and that was sliced bread.
So
Yeah,
how
see,
about
this
that?
is
Anything
why
else?
We don't, yeah.
Someone talk about anything but what's
Okay.
happening, please.
Hey,
Sliced
you
bread
guys
was
wanna look at my
invented in
computer build? So
1928.
here's the computer build I have, an i7-8700. Of course, I have the cooler that literally everybody has, the Hyper 212 Evo. The air cooler. Fair bit of RAM. Got a 1 terabyte SSD, a 4 terabyte hard drive for general storage, and a 12 terabyte for more bulky storage. I really like my Corsair $300 mid-tower case, but I don't think they're made anymore.
Are you putting
Yeah, this
this
is the
on
one I
the?
have.
Oh, there it is. Oh, now
Shown,
I'm trying to reload
shown
it.
different to what happens to what she sees.
Yeah, so that guy just the vision that was put on to Troy there was of the other guy, the older, bigger guy. Now I don't
The nice
remember
but occasionally
exactly which
creepy
of them
one.
is the liar.
I think it's
I remember it.
him.
I guess you'll just have to find out.
Before this episode started, I was thinking for sure that it was the old guy who's evil, and that this guy was a red herring. But now I'm thinking it's the other way around. I'm pretty sure this
I think
guy is
it
the
is.
evil one.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure I remember the old guy being innocent in the end. So remember, he actually drops the metaphor, and in a line at the end of the episode.
What's up with their weird outfits with all the holes in them? Did we talk about
It's
this?
breezy.
It's breezy. They're all wearing
Cart's
Charlie Brown
fish.
ghost costumes.
I mean, I can understand wanting some breezy clothing because, like, right now, the temperature's starting to heat up. It's getting past winter, and it's getting to the warmer months. And now my computer, with its 1,000-watt power supply, is heating up my room way more than I want it to.
It just looks weird. Unless you're like a platinum-selling rapper, I don't know if you can pull that look off.
Okay.
1,000-watt power supply?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
That
I
is
have, what,
impressive.
1,000 or 1,200? I don't remember what mine's at.
Well,
I
he's
don't
got
think
a
my computer
39.
actually
I've
uses
ever had
1,000
is,
watts, but that's how big the supply is.
If you're running a 3090, if you don't have something 1,000 watts, sometimes the peak power draw can shut down your computer if you
Yeah.
have anything.
Really? Wow.
Yes, it's bad.
Wow, that is a
Somebody
big
check
number
your-
compared to when I last built a computer, which was long enough ago that I'm feeling old of us. And
I mean, look, for the most part, my computer probably uses like 600 watts. It's just occasional spikes up.
Yeah, I think I'm at 1,000
Somebody-
as well.
Somebody in
keep my
chat here
38
says-
happy. Sorry, go ahead.
Somebody in chat here says we need a vampire movie with Scott Bakula. Bakula is Dracula.
Okay.
I've got the idea of a very cheesy vampire movie starring Tom Hanks. It would be called Hankula.
Actually,
No, that's a good idea. I'm P Felon, by the way. That's me.
I thought it was just Felon. I thought the P was silent.
It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, either way, it's fine.
But you literally corrected us before, and we were saying P Felon, and you said it's just Felon. Which is it?
We need to know the answers.
Oh, I was saying P Felon like for the sake of so you could recognize it, but yeah, it's Felon.
He was pronouncing the unpronounced letter for clarity in
Okay,
typing.
so what was your felony?
Nothing. It's really dumb, but that was actually my moniker when I was a DJ when I was like 17,
Okay.
and I just used it for like all my emails and stuff because it was right in the 90s when all that stuff was kind of getting out there. So I just use it as my handle for everything, pretty much.
Oh,
if I can.
this dude's about to lose his cool. Yep, here it is.
Yep.
What number are we on? Dating tip 27, 28?
28.
Don't do anything that this guy is doing.
So there's
Yes,
29.
do not-
There we go, kids.
Do not use your telepathic memory retrieving abilities to rape your partner.
or not even partner. Just yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Anybody. Don't use your telepathic memory retrieving powers to rape anybody.
or any other
Any
powers.
kind of powers.
How about-
Mental or
yeah, how about you just don't
Even just your physical self.
Don't rape
don't
anybody.
rape anybody
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, that's good advice for life in general.
Mm.
So this PC
Michael,
part
when I
picker, is
clicked on
this
your
a
PC
website
part
where
picker
you...
link, it just opened up my build.
Oh, weird.
And I assume you do not have an exactly identical build.
I do not. Hold on. I thought I made it public.
It didn't copy the.
Oh, I love this. Where Worf just clocked.
All right, Worf, kill him. Oh, well, good for you, Worf. Just a
Hey,
single smack
Worf
and that guy's done.
won in hand-to-hand combat.
It's
A rare victory.
Atlas Mac.
He actually did something, Worf. Good for you. So proud of you. Yulian. He's a Yulian. Oh, Jev. Okay, so who wrote this episode? TNG, Violations, Memory Alpha. What? Who's responsible for this? Whose fault is this? It was written by Pamela Gray and Jerry Taylor. This episode was actually written by 2 women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I read the reception section, and they're all very pleased with this episode, and I don't get it.
Oh, yeah. There goes the metaphor.
I mean, I don't think it was really a bad episode message-wise, because the message was just, like, don't rape people, but
Yeah.
it was just extremely uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
Rape episodes are always, in any series, really, any episode that tends to deal with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're always
Someone could
heavy-handed
argue.
and usually not well written.
Ooh, an NVMe.
You could argue being uncomfortable is kind of the point, but I don't like that sort of analysis.
Yes, that list is all of the new parts that I bought, except for the video card. That's my old one. But the entirety of my computer is solid state. There's no traditional magnetic hard drive in it.
Okay. But how are you going to store your terabytes and terabytes of legally purchased video content?
My computer has like 5 terabytes.
That's not enough. That's not enough, man.
It's plenty. I don't engage in content downloads that are not purchased by me. Most of the stuff that I watch is streaming.
Guys, we made it through Violations.
We did it. It's over.
Yay!
It's done.
We ran out
I'm
the clock.
proud of all of us.
Yeah.
All right, so DS9 Season 5, what's happening tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to be Rapture, where Captain Sisko... Yeah, he's a captain by now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Captain Sisko has a bunch of visions from the prophets, and he goes a little bit crazy and starts ranting about locusts.
It's also the first appearance of the new uniforms, which means that a particular character is 100% confirmed to be an imposter.
A baddie.
And that character does something extraordinary in that episode that he shouldn't be able to do.
Don't worry about it.
Like a Vulcan nerve pinch?
No, like complex brain surgery.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Anyway, the episode after that is The Darkness and the Light. I think that's the one where some Cardassian threatens to cut the baby out of Kira.
Boy.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
He's about to do it when they catch him.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Again, if you haven't seen Deep Space Nine before, this is the wrong stream to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah. It is true. Yeah.
And then The Begotten, where Odo gets a kid.
I really like The Begotten. It's a good episode.
Oh.
I feel I don't remember that much of it, but I feel like I don't like it, but I'm open to changing my mind about that.
It's a great character episode for Odo.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. So, yeah, same time tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. British Summer Time. Not GMT, not 8 p.m. GMT, 7 p.m. GMT. But now Daylight Savings is stupid, and now it's all complicated and everything. Anyway.
Why can't it be Central European time? What's wrong with that? It's a superior time.
Do you want me to include Central European time?
I think I'll find a way to add one.
Also on Monday, we're gonna have another stream that starts 3 hours later than normal at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. British Summer Time. And that's gonna be a stream for our First Contact Day, April 5th. And we're just gonna watch the movie First Contact.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm down for that. I'll be up a little bit late, but
I have work, but I'll make it work.
I would
Interesting
recommend
scene
against
from the
ditching
top.
work to watch a movie.
We'll see how busy I am.
We're also gonna watch First Contact again after we finish all of TNG and just do the movies in order.
About to say that's when I get to watch it. Yay!
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be then. Also, Easter's tomorrow, but we're not doing anything special for that because I don't think there's any Easter-themed episodes. I looked it up.
Nothing about bunnies? Or
there was one episode of TOS where it's Alice in Wonderland and there's a white rabbit, but only very briefly.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, Dr. McCoy sees it.
That's the only thing that I can think of for Easter. Unless we just want to watch an episode. Wait, is Easter supposed to be the birthday or the resurrection?
It's the resurrection.
So we could watch like Sub Rosa again. You're not Nana, Nana's dead.
I mean, you can watch Sub Rosa again.
You can just keep watching Sub Rosa over and over and over again.
We could also watch that Deep Space Nine episode where Kaiopaka dies.
And is resurrected, yeah.
Yep.
Oh god.
But anyway,
not just her.
I think that's
Everybody
it for
is.
today.
Cool.
And I'm out of here.
See many of you at the NT
Sarah.
this week.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Leave. Bye, everybody.